Hi everyone, Virago back from another hiatus. This time it was not my mental health. I am doing very well. Thank you for anyone who is concerned. Like a crazy person, I decided to get a second job. So I have been juggling two jobs and family time and me time, and a lot of things have fallen by the wayside, most of all the me time. So I finally decided that enough is enough. I'm getting myself together. I will find a way to schedule time to just do me things, whether it be recording a booktube video or journaling or, whatever it is that I need to do. And it starts today. First, let me start by apologizing in advance for any shaky cameras, any crazy background noises. You may hear my family is out and about doing their things, even though I'm in my room with the door closed. But also my dog and my grandcat are in here, and who knows what could happen. So, as I am filming this, today is February the 11th, and it is my birthday, which is awesome. My birthday did not start off how I wanted. Plans did not follow through because it's been raining like crazy, and I wanted a mani-pedi, but I don't drive. I take public transportation, and anyone who takes the bus or the train knows that going to get a pedicure with your toes out in February in the rain is just, it's not fun. So that was canceled, but I still have had a great day. Got to go to the bookstore, and we're going to talk about that in the video that I'm going to record after this. This is actually the second time I'm recording this video. Somehow my audio and video were not syncing up right, and it wasn't super duper. It was kind of minute, but it was enough to bother me, so I knew it was going to bother other people, so I couldn't do it. So the purpose of this video is to basically give you a very brief wrap up of my 2019 and to kind of talk about my goals for 2020 and maybe even do a quick wrap up of my January since it is now February. So for 2020, no, we're not doing 2020 yet. I've had some wine. I'm sorry. This video could go all different sorts of ways. Who knows? Let's just wait and see what happens. So for 2019, as it is for every year, my goal was to read 52 books. That's a book a week. If I can't read one book a week, then I am doing something wrong in my life and I need to rethink all of my life choices. For most of us, we can do a good 4 books a week, if not more, given the right motivation and the right amount of time. So a book a week is doable. I managed to do a book a week this past year, and I'm very happy with that. I did a lot of 5 and 4-star books this year. I'm really proud of myself that I generally have either really good taste or really good luck. I'm going to go with luck because, as they say in NASCAR, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. So I've had some good luck with picking some good reads. I've had some crappy reads, in the last year, but, it kind of par for the course. I'm just happy that I actually read 53, so I'm just so happy that I read all of those books. The only thing that I did not do very well was to read the majority of the books that I actually had planned in my TBR. Like every year I do a TBR. It's more like guidelines than an actual rule, but I always hope to do more, like maybe half or at least a quarter. I think I did maybe 3. 3 books out of however many books I picked for my TBR last year, but I guess 3 is better than no books. So I'm hoping to do better this year as far as reading the books that I actually plan to read. So, since 2019 is out of the way, let's talk about 2020. 2020, of course, the goal is 52 books, and I decided to do something a little bit different with my TBR this year. I'll usually do banned books, I'll do a Pride week, and then I'll do things that have been on my TBR for too long and things like that. So this year I decided my main goal is to, and I put this on my actual TBR list because they do need to be read, is my current reads list. And my current reads list has grown really big, and it's kind of out of control, as, sometimes they do. I mean, in 2019, I finished a book, and after I went back, because I knew I had started it a while ago, it was a digital book, and after I went back and checked the dates, I had started reading that book in 2017. Why did it take me so long to finish the book? I said, and the thing that really gets me is that I only had a chapter and a half left to go in the book. Of course, I probably didn't realize this when I stopped reading the book. Odds are I got distracted, put it down, and since it's a digital copy, I just forgot about it. So it just kind of really irked me that I did that, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm trying to do my current reads list. And there are a few books that I started years ago, and it's still on the list, so I really need to get with the program. So, the main books on my current read list are, my setup is not great, sorry. Twice Bitten. It is a dual novel, two books in one novel, one by Erica Orloff and one by Crystal Green. I did read the first book in the novel, which was called, let's see, Urban Legend by Erica Orloff. The second book in the novel is The Huntress by Crystal Green. I think I got through maybe the first chapter and set the book down and then completely forgot about it, but somehow I knew that I had started reading this book, so it's been on my TBR list. So I have taken myself back to the very beginning because it's been so long since I started reading it that I probably wouldn't remember anything about it, so I'm just going to start from the beginning and get through it. This is something that I bought at probably a discount bookstore, if I remember correctly, and it sounded interesting. And the first book was good. I'm assuming the second book is also going to be good, and I just need to get on with it and friggin' read the book. Second book on my list is an anthology. It's Werewolves and Shapeshifters by, I believe it's edited by John Skip. It's by clearly multiple authors. I've read several stories in the book for, I think I was doing Halloween bingo last year maybe, and I read a couple of stories in the book because they fit in with, you know, that bingo block. This was a gift, I believe, from one of my Book Likes pals. I'm in a group where most of us are hesitant to do subscription boxes because, you know, you just never know what you're going to get and you're paying money for it. So a group of us got together and we haven't done it for a while, but we were doing subscription boxes every so often. And they always had a theme and you'd get books and, you know, other little trinkets in it. And this was one of the books in that box that I got the one time. It's really good, and I've liked the stories that I've been in it. It's just, you know, it's extremely large, so I kind of don't like to travel with it because, you know, it's kind of awkward, you know, commuting with this when you're on the bus or the train or the trolley. So this is one of those ones where you got to read it at home. So hopefully I will get through, if not the whole book, at least half of it this year. That's what I'm hoping for. Next is Boys Will Be Boys, which is a giveaway that I won on Book Likes. I should have read and reviewed this already, and I apologize because I am kind of bad with that. I sometimes. So this, as you can see, it's about, you know, the patriarchy and toxic masculinity, and I did start reading it because I did want to read and review it in a timely manner, and then I sat it down, and I think it's because of the subject matter. I mean, toxic masculinity, it kind of hits close to home, being a female and seeing the stuff that's going on in the world, and just, there were some things in here that are kind of, you know, not necessarily triggering for me, but kind of like, okay, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to put that down for a minute because that was like really, you know, but I feel like I'm going to enjoy it once I get through it, and I'm going to try to really, really get through it so that I can review it. Next on the list, World War Moo by Michael Logan. This is actually the sequel to Apocalypse Cow, which has been on my TBR for a long time, and I finally read it last year. I finished it in 2019. I actually started this, I believe, towards the end of 2019, and then sat it down because I got some new books and I put this down to read it. But I really enjoyed Apocalypse Cow. I am enjoying the beginnings of this so far. I think it's going to be a really good sequel. You know, sometimes you get a sequel to a book and it's just like, oh, really, that's what you did. But I think this one's going to be really good. So far, so good. Hopefully I will get finished this year, and I will not leave it sitting partially read for the next 2 years. That's what I'm hoping. But, you know, Apocalypse Cow was a really good one, so I should be okay. Last on the physical list, which is actually not on my WordPress list because I somehow managed to forget that I was reading it. If you follow me on WordPress, I do have, like, this is in my blog, like my goals and everything for 2020. It's The Deep. This is by River Solomon. This is a book that I was so hyped for. I pre-ordered this when I heard about it. This is basically the story of the ancestors of the African slaves who jumped overboard because they knew they were being taken to slavery and they didn't want to live lives as slaves. And their ancestors turned into mermaids. And it's about the story of them and how they remember their history. And I haven't gotten very deep into it. Just the subject matter and the premise of it just sounded so interesting. And, being, a black woman, it was really interesting to me. When I started reading it, and I don't know if it was because of the mood or if because the book just isn't living up to the hype that I've given it, and that's not to say that it's a bad book. Sometimes you hype something up so much in your head that it's like you get so excited about it that it doesn't actually live up to your excitement. I don't know if it's the mood that I was in when I started or if I've overhyped this so much in my head that it's kind of disappointing, but I'm not, it's not disappointing, I'm just not into it like I wanted to be into it. So I think I put it down, and I think when I pick it back up, fingers crossed, that I'm going to be like, dude, what the hell was I thinking? This book is great. So I am going to get through this. I'm going to finish this year. Hopefully I'm going to finish this month, being that it is Black History Month, and I'm trying to, I always try to do like little themes, and obviously Black History Month, you want to read books about protagonists of color or books written by people of color and things like that. So, this is both, and I'm hopefully going to finish this month. The other two books on my current reads TBR is The Silmarillion. I don't know if I mentioned this in one of my other blogs, or I should say vlogs. Some blessedly crazy person created a list of how to read the Middle Earth stories chronologically. And that sometimes involves reading a chapter or two of one book, putting it down, and then going to another book, and then putting it down and going back and forth between books. And I endeavored to do this in 2019. I failed horribly in doing this in 2019, but this is also one of those things where there's so much material that it could take you a couple of years to get through this, especially if you want to do it the way that it's supposed to be done. So I've gotten through quite a few stories on the list, the way they're listed, because like I said, it's based on stories, so sometimes it's only a chapter or two here and there. I've gotten through a few. I'm currently towards the end of The Silmarillion, which is the book that I'm currently on, and hopefully I think maybe I have an hour left. I'm doing the audiobook, so maybe I have maybe an hour left of listening, which when you do it on double speed is clearly not an hour, because I always do everything on double speed unless it's a full cast, and then I slow it down because you always want to hear the cast. So I have to finish that one, and then the other one, which is also an audiobook, was a full cast audiobook of Treasure Island, which I actually did finish today, and I will try to review later this week. It's an audiobook. I just said that. I've had some wine. I'm sorry. So that is my current reads list for 2019. That is what 2020. I'm still doing it. Not only am I doing it when I write it, but I'm doing it when I say it. That is my current reads list for 2020. That is what I'm hoping to get through before the year is out. I have other books on my TBR for 2020. If you want to see those, just go check out my WordPress. I always leave links to all of my social media and things in my profile, and also usually in the description of the video. So you can check that out if you're at all interested. And that is it for what my reading goals for 2020 are. I guess I could do a really quick wrap up of my January, which is what I said I was going to do. So I managed to read, 5 books in January? I did. I read 5 books in January, 3 audiobooks, 2 paperbacks. I'm sorry, I had to go to my journal to actually see what I did. I didn't have any ARCs that I finished or giveaways or anything like that, and I didn't do any ebooks. All of my books were 5-star reads this month. Like I said, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. And so far, I've been very lucky with the books that I've been picking to read. The first book that I finished for January was The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. It is the final book in the series, The Raven Boys. I feel like this was a very, very good ending to the series. It did not disappoint. Sometimes the longer you go into a series, the more likely you are to be disappointed by the way the series ends. I thought this was a very good ending. I thought the story was interesting. I didn't get bored with it, which you sometimes do. I know that there's some people that I've seen on BookTube and just in general that didn't really like the series. I enjoyed it myself, and I mean, I guess that's why they say, everybody's tastes are different. The next book that I read for January was Tina Jones. It is an Audible original. It was actually a freebie, and I don't know why it was a freebie because I would have paid all the money to listen to this audiobook. The narrators are Retta, Matt Boren, and Stephanie Lemelin. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I'm very bad with names, and I shouldn't be because I have a name that is not actually difficult to pronounce, but people still somehow manage to mess it up, but that's neither here nor there. This was fantastic. Retta is fantastic. She's hilarious. She just, the story was interesting. I can totally relate. It's basically about a woman who has her own unique, not only her own unique name, but just her own unique personality, and she's slowly trying to make her way into fame on her own, and some random basic bitch steals her name and somehow manages to get her 5 minutes of fame using this girl's name. So the whole premise of the story is the real Tina Jones trying to track down the fake Tina Jones and expose her for the fraud that she is. And and along the way, she develops her own unique fame. She, gets friends and gets her own show, and it's just funny. And I can totally relate because my real name is unique. Didn't appreciate it as a child. Totally love it now as an adult. And I would be very hard pressed if somebody stole my name and then used it and got famous. I don't like to tell people my name now because I don't want people naming their kids that. Because I like my name being just mine. But, that's me. Next book I read was also an audiobook, Good Omens. Now, I made the mistake, but it's not actually a mistake because it was fantastic. I watched the Prime TV show of Good Omens first. It was fantastic. And I said, that's actually what lit the fire under me to finally read Good Omens, because I've had not only the audiobook, but a physical copy of the book for a little while now, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So I'm like, okay, after watching that series and seeing how great it was, I'm like, I have to read this book now. So I have to say that Amazon Prime did a fantastic job of translating the source material into a TV series. They did a great job. I mean, they did a really great job. I'm so shocked at how good it was. I'm sure a lot of you have read this book and it was fantastic. 5-star read. I mean, it was fun. It was interesting. It was funny. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it. The next book that I read in January was Illuminae. And I picked this book up because I have seen it quite a few times in my bookstore perusing as well as my digital bookstore perusing. It looks interesting, and I think it pops up on a lot of people's lists and things like that, and I'm like, maybe I'll check it out. And not too long ago, I saw someone do a BookTube vlog, and they mentioned this book, and they said that the format can be off-putting for some people, and for those people, maybe it would be best to do the audiobook because it's a little bit easier. And then I'm like, oh, well, now I need to know about this book. So on one of my many trips to the bookstore in 2019 during the holiday seasons, because I have a lot of birthdays interspersed with the holidays, and people get books from me because that's what they get. So on one of my trips, and I want to say it might have been a trip for my daughter's birthday, and of course I bought her books, so I'm like, okay, well, while you're looking for books, I'll go look for books, and I'm pretty sure this is it. And I found Illuminae, and then I'm like, well, shoot, it's part of a series, let me see if they have all the other books. They had all 3 books in the series, so I bought them all at the same time, and I'm like, we'll see how this goes. The format is basically transcripts. It's found and research documents of an incident that happened. So it's transcripts of video footage and audio footage and transcripts of IM messages and letters and emails and just, confidential documents all kind of smushed together into this, giant file that basically tells you the story of what happened. I found the format fascinating. I really enjoyed it. You got so many different points of view, and I feel like the authors did a really good job of putting all of those points of views together without making it confusing. Like, I never got confused about what was going on. I never got confused about whose point of view it was. I never really got confused with the characters. I really enjoyed the majority of the characters. I totally felt that the whole story was just really engaging, and I really, really liked it. And it's sci-fi, it's futuristic, it's kind of hitting my wheelhouse. So this was a really interesting story. So interesting, in fact, that the next book that I read was the second book in the series. And this was also a 5-star read. As I said, all of my reads for January are 5-star reads. I feel like this picked up where the other story, ended, and you get introduced to new characters. Oh, I'm sorry. The second book in the series is called Jemina. By the way, I'm just totally, it's the Illuminae files. Book 1 was Illuminae. Book 2 is Jemina. That's what I'm currently talking about now. You meet all these other new characters. You still have a little bit of contact with the other characters. They're kind of, meshing together. And again, you get all these different points of view, all these different parts and pieces of the story that are being told. They all fit together really well. And again, I never really got confused about what was going on. It's like nobody really got lost in the story. Sometimes it's easy for that to happen where you have too many points of views and things get lost, and it's kind of like, well, what the hell is going on? I found this really fascinating. And I liked it so much that I did immediately start the next book in the series, which is Obsidio, but I believe I started it on the last day of January, so it doesn't count towards my January reads because I'm not finished it yet. Because of course I put it down to read some other stuff. I still love the book. I'm still very into it, and of course I'm dying to see how the whole story comes together and gets pulled together. But I have ADHD sometimes when it comes to reading, and I'm a mood reader, so that kind of happens. So that was my January. And I think I covered everything from my end of 2019 moving on up. And I thank you all for watching this hot mess of a video because I'm kind of all over the place. But like I said, it's my birthday and I'm on my third glass of wine. So it's just what it is. But I thank you all for watching this video. I thank anyone who has watched any of my videos, who have liked my videos, who have even commented on my videos. I'm still self-conscious, but I'm still doing this because I'm still having fun. I know that I'm still pretty sucky at it. I'm hoping that now that I've kind of set myself, I sat myself down and had a talk with myself and told myself that you need to get your crap together, girl, and you need to start doing stuff for yourself. So I'm hoping, the hope and the wish and the desire is to do a video a week. But I literally only have one day off a week unless I request a day off, and then that makes all of my work hours get smushed together in 5 days, which I can do, and then I can get 2 days off. I can totally do that. So maybe I might start doing that more often. Maybe I can do a video every 2 weeks. I have no idea. We'll see how it goes. But you're definitely going to start seeing videos from me more than once every couple of months. I promise. I've promised myself, and therefore now I'm promising you. So now I have to keep my word, or I will just be a lying liar who lies. So hopefully you will see more videos from me consistently. Hopefully once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, but definitely more than once every couple of months. I promise. And thank you so much to everyone who's watched. I really appreciate it. You kind of help me, get my confidence up every time I see somebody that has viewed my video, and every now and then I even get a like, which is pretty cool. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate you sitting through this whole crazy video that I've been doing, and I will see you all next time because I'm about to do a video of my birthday book haul. Yay! So until the next video, deuces, Virgo out.